Hello everybody and welcome to 0 Mile ADV, a beginner's guide to adventure motorcycling. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the top 5 things I learned in my first 500 miles as a new rider. So stay tuned. Number 1 has to be adapting to speed. It's amazing to me how quickly you become comfortable at speed. For me, when I first started, just doing 35 miles an hour around my neighborhood was terrifying. But eventually I got comfortable with that, and then I moved to 45 miles an hour, and then there's like a little county highway through my town, and so I was riding that and I got comfortable with 50, and then I found another old highway, the old US 6 and 50 highway, and I got up to 50, and so I slowly made my way up. I remember the first time I hopped on the major interstate here and the speed limit is 75 miles an hour. I was terrified. I was asking people, anybody that I saw on an adventure bike or a motorcycle, hey, how do you handle the highway and all the trucks and everything? And it just takes more doing it. And so I would do short stints on the highway, like one exit, and then kind of take the back roads home. And so really it was just, the first thing I learned is just the ability to adapt to speed and take your time and be comfortable with it, and you'll slowly get better with it. The second thing was the MSF course. And in fact, actually, the MSF course helped me to avoid an accident in my first about 300 miles of riding. So I was coming down a side street just trying to get used to the bike, and I was following a Toyota Corolla. That car, you know, I was using my 4 seconds minimum following distance rule. The Corolla goes through an intersection and bam, gets T-boned by a 4Runner that had run the light. And so within that 4 seconds distance, I was able to slow down, put on my hazards, and come to a stop. It still had plenty of distance between me and the debris of where the accident happened. And had I just been kind of following closely and not really even thinking about the distance and where I was and trying to get a better understanding of that rule, I would have definitely T-boned that Corolla after it got hit, and I would have been in the middle of that accident. So the MSF course as a new rider was really invaluable to me, and I would highly recommend it to anybody that's looking to get into motorcycling in general. Reason number 3 is that not all cars are out there to kill you. I think if you ride with the mindset that you are invisible, that it goes a long way in keeping you safe and avoiding accidents with other cars. I think this is something I really learned from riding bicycles. When you ride a gravel bike or a road bike on the road, you basically have to realize that you're invisible and nobody's going to see you. And so there's a lot of things that I took from that into riding my motorcycle. But with that being said, if you follow some basic safety rules and you don't do stupid things, you're not going to get killed. The other thing is that I hate it when I talk to people and I'm like, yeah, I'm a brand new rider, and they're like, oh, be careful, you know, people out there in cars are out there to kill you, cagers are out there to kill you. The truth is, just because you go around a blind curve at 130 miles an hour and wreck doesn't mean I'm going to. If I'm following some basic safety procedures and following the traffic laws, I should be relatively safe. Now that doesn't guarantee my safety, but it really helps to avoid it. So the third thing I learned is that not every car out there is going to kill you, but you do have to pretend that nobody can see you, and it'll help you stay safe out there. Number 4 is just learning your bike, getting more comfortable with it, kind of understanding its nuances. So when I first started, when I was shifting, my shifting was super rough. They were kind of jerky, they weren't super smooth. I was watching other YouTube channels like Spite who used to be on the Yami Noob channel, or I love Big Rock Moto, I love his channels, and you watch like how fast he pulls that clutch and the bike just shifts super smooth, and he hops on any motorcycle and he just has this super smooth shifting. And for me, you know, at about 300 miles to 400 miles, my shifting started to get smoother, and now I have like pretty shift smoothing with the right amount of throttle, so it's just kind of a smooth next gear. The other thing I kind of got more comfortable with is the leaning. How far can I lean the bike? How much speed can I give the bike in a lean? All of those things start to become more natural and more fluid at about the 500 mile mark. So item number 4 is just getting to know your bike, and it will come more naturally. So the last thing would be understanding motorcycle culture. I didn't quite get it until I got my first motorcycle. I had been to Sturgis the day after it closed, so it was cool to see like all of the infrastructure. It was just amazing to me how many people ride from all over the world to this one motorcycle event. And you always hear people talk about the thrill, and there's nothing like riding a motorcycle. But I didn't quite get it until I owned my own motorcycle. I mean, the fact that you can just ride to UPS to go drop a package off can be a lot of fun. And you're just so much more connected with the environment. When you're driving, it's just so much more interactive as opposed to sitting in the car and waiting for traffic. And, you know, like, especially in my truck, it's it's like you're sitting in a recliner, it's super comfortable. There's just no elements, there's nothing about it. You're just so much, you're caged, I guess. I understand that the cage term. But yeah, for me, it was getting to know and understand motorcycle culture. Well, if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. If you could do me a favor and hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you get notified each week when a new video comes out, I would greatly appreciate it. It really helps my channel. And if you're also a new rider, I would love to learn from the rest of you guys, and if you could tell me in the comments below what were some of the top 5 things that you learned in your first 500 miles of riding, I would greatly appreciate it, because I would learn some things that maybe I have missed. So yeah, until next time, stay safe out there.